everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on a new perfume I've just bought, which came out this year. I've already done two reviews in the same video on other fragrances from this particular line, and it is from Lush's new 2013 Guerrilla Fragrances collection. And this one I'm really excited about because this is one that gets talked about a lot, and it is Sikkim Girls by Lush. Okay, I'll show you that in some more detail in a second. First, I would just like to say that I think that this perfume is actually probably maybe Lush's best-selling Guerrilla fragrance perfume from the new line, maybe. I get this impression because every time I go into a Lush store and I'm kind of circling around the perfume counter, the sales assistants always kind of talk about Sikkim Girls and how much everybody at Lush loves Sikkim Girls, and this has happened to me in a few different stores now, so I'm beginning to think that this is actually maybe their best-selling Guerrilla fragrance perfume. Of course, if you have any more information on this, or if you work at Lush yourself and know the figures, please let me know, because this is something I'm quite curious about. Because although I would say that this fragrance is quite kind of it's not casual, but it's quite what's the word? This video is failing already. When will I ever make a video that doesn't completely fall apart at the seams? I have no idea. What I'm trying to say is that some of the perfumes are quite complicated and a very specific kind of target audience. The Voice of Reason comes to mind, which a lot of people have described as smelling of barbecue sauce. Obviously, I can't imagine that that's a really good seller. Also, Hellstone smells to me like artificial fire in a museum, when kind of museums try and recreate old streets and things and have the smells pumping in. Hellstone reminds me of that kind of artificial fire smell. So obviously some of these perfumes are quite hard to reach out to audiences, and I think that maybe some of them aren't very good sellers. And this one, however, as I've said before, I think is a very good seller, but it's not, you know, it's not a simple perfume. It's not something that I would say would appeal to loads of people. So it does surprise me a bit that Sikkim Girls is as popular as it is. I would actually say that maybe of the ones that I've smelled, I think I've smelled them all. Maybe not on skin, but I think I've smelled the whole collection, and I would say that actually Furs, which I do have, is probably the most, again that word that I can't remember, it's the most, you know, not uncomplicated, but I think that Furs would appeal to the most people because it is kind of that slightly gourmand fragrance that reminds me so much of their Snow Cake Almond Christmas soap, which obviously is a very good seller as well. So I think that you know, this perfume's received a lot of praise, and I think perhaps it's something to do with the packaging, because I'd say of all the Lush fragrances, I think that this packaging, or the image on the front, is perhaps one of the sorry, my hand's shaking so much. You know, it's quite an appealing picture. I think it's very very nice. I think this one, and maybe Flowers Barrow and Devil's Nightcap, I like their pictures as well. But I think that people are immediately drawn to this, and maybe the colour of the liquid as well. It's kind of a nice kind of amber colour. I don't know how it's showing up on the screen, but it's a kind of golden amber colour. And I think the Furs packaging, which just has kind of a yellow plant on, and the title as well. You know, maybe people aren't trying that one because they're put off by the packaging or the title, whereas otherwise they might really enjoy the fragrance. Okay, so Sikkim Girls, I would describe as being a kind of floral oriental fragrance. It's definitely got this kind of Eastern inspiration behind it. Of course, the story being that this musician was seduced by these Sikkim girls just by the sway of their hips and the way that they danced. So, you know, it's quite a sensual fragrance. It brings to mind other Lush scents such as Karma, which I think is one of their best-selling soap fragrances, and also they have it in the fragrance form, but it's quite expensive. I'm just going to look up the notes of this, because the notes actually surprised me a little bit. There's frangipani, I can never say it, jasmine tuberose on a base of vanilla. I don't really think that you can smell the tuberose in this very strongly, except, you know, I definitely don't get this white floral vibe from it. It is floral, but I'd say it's more spicy than floral. The vanilla as well, it's not, you know, a candied vanilla like in furs, or like in, you know, typical gourmand fragrances or celebrity fragrances. It is blended together really well, so it actually becomes a lot more spicy and sensual than what is to be expected when you just read up their notes. I actually get kind of the feel when I wear this, because a lot of the Lush fragrances for me are about how they make you feel, the images that they conjure up in your mind, rather than you know, just smelling nice or smelling simple and getting compliments. I'd say it's much more complex than that with these. It's more, that's why I think Lush are more among the kind of conceptual niche side of fragrances, like you get from L'Artisan Parfumé and Bond No. 9, for example. You know, a lot of their fragrances are about concepts, and they might not necessarily smell nice, but you know, it's more important to get the feel, and with this I get that. And again, I actually get a museum type of smell. Again, when they try and recreate old-fashioned streets and things, and they try and get a mixture of smells, often you do get that fire that Hellstone brings about. Hellstone being another Lush perfume from the Guerrilla 2013 fragrance line. With Sikkim Girls, I kind of get that again. Has got a slight touch of that Hellstone kind of fire, and I imagine if you mix these two together, it would smell absolutely amazing. But you know, it's slightly herbal. It's a little bit kind of, it's not as herbal as Flowers Barrow. It doesn't conjure up those kind of ancient medicine type images, but it is quite you know, maybe like an old-fashioned drugstore would smell. That probably sounds horrible, you know, we were kind of 1900s where they actually had the kind of herbs in the jars kind of thing. And yeah, I think it's kind of a little bit artificial, but I think that's just because, you know, the only way in real life you would usually smell something like this would be in a museum where they're trying to recreate them fragrances. It doesn't smell plasticky in any way or anything like that. I just mean, I don't think that you would actually get this combination of scents in nature. I think that you know, it would be something artificial and, you know, made up. It also brings to mind kind of the smell of burning leaves a bit, and again, if you mix it with Hellstone, that probably brings out even more. But it's kind of this autumn woodland walk, treading on kind of the crunchy leaves, the kind of golden and red and green leaves, and you know, maybe someone far off is having a bonfire, and you get kind of a slightly smoky smell, but it's not, you know, it doesn't smell like actual bonfire, unlike Lush do a solid shampoo, and I'm not too sure what it's called, but it does smell like an actual bonfire, which some people might like. But you know, I'd say if you want that, to again mix this with Hellstone if you want that kind of vibe from it. So overall, I do really love this fragrance. I think it's perfect for autumn, winter months, and also maybe spring. I won't really recommend summer because it's quite a heavy fragrance, even though it doesn't last too long actually, compared to the other two Lush fragrances I have, which I'd say Furs, for example, is a lighter fragrance. It's not as strong as this one, but it does last a lot longer. Then that one in Flowers Barrow lasts all day, whereas this one you do only get a few hours out of it, I'm afraid. And this is the 7ml size, I should say. Oh, is it 10ml? Oh, it's 10ml. Unusual, because I have another one in the size and it says it's only 7. Hang on, I'm just going to have to get them out to compare. I don't really want to do this because, you know, I've gone on so much about the other fragrances, but just to compare the size. I'm not sure I believe this. well, to me these look exactly the same size, but this one says that it's 7ml. This is Flowers Barrow. That's the image. And this one says it's 10ml. So I think there's a bit of a lie going on here, but who knows? Maybe one of them's wrong. Okay, so when you get these perfumes, I've only actually got one of these because they've run out the second and third time. I've shown you this in my other video. You get it in this kind of cardboard cylinder with a monkey on and things like that, which is great packaging. It's quite unusual because you can actually keep the packaging, whereas usually the perfume boxes, I throw them away or I leave them till I'm sending things on eBay, and then I kind of use them to package things up. So you know, it's really good to actually keep it there. What was I saying? Oh, about the lasting power. Yeah, compared to the other two, it doesn't last very long, but it's a very striking fragrance. Definitely, it brings to mind people like Janis Joplin. I think, you know, people in the 60s would wear this. It reminds me of you know, even though it's not kind of, even though patchouli is not listed, it does strike me as being almost very similar to a patchouli-based fragrance. Yeah, it just brings to mind Janis Joplin for some reason, kind of very soulful and nice, and with a kind of Eastern influence. So I do really like this. If you like fragrances like Chinatown, or if you really like other Lush fragrances such as Flowers Barrow, which is vaguely similar, it's kind of got the same medicinal quality, and I think you'll like Sikkim Girls. If you go into any Lush store, the shop assistants will probably point you in the direction of this one anyway, considering that's what all they ever do to me. The lady in the shop did give me a nice sample of the new Sikkim Girls body lotion, actually, which is a Christmas special. So if you really like Sikkim Girls and you're interested in the lotion, I would recommend buying it sooner rather than later, because it is just a Christmas special. The lotion itself is quite thick and it does go on very nicely. It's not kind of a pure white like most lotions. It's kind of got like an oatmeal colour to it, which I think is quite nice, because it shows that, you know, they're not putting any artificial preservatives and things in it, and artificial dyes even, to change the colour. And it does smell like the fragrance. I'd say it's a little bit more creamy and a little bit more earthy. It does smell quite earthy, which you don't actually really get from the fragrance. Well, you do get it from the fragrance in a kind of, you know, autumn leaves kind of way, but I'd say this one's definitely more, there's something very primal in this actually. It does remind me a bit of Zing by L'Artisan Parfumé, which is the famous fragrance inspired by the circus. There is a kind of an animal quality to it, which is quite unusual, but it does go on very nicely on the skin, and I would actually say that the lotion lasts almost as long, if not as long, as the perfume itself. So this is a great addition. I believe the full-size pot of this is about £24, £25 for 100ml, and she just gave me a little, I think it's like 10ml sample. It wasn't quite full, but it'll last me, you know, I've got so much perfume now that it's not like I get round to wearing my fragrances a lot, really. So if I just wear this whenever I wear Sikkim Girls to make it last a little bit longer, or to give like a stronger scent, then this will probably last me quite a while. But I am planning on getting the full-size lotion for Christmas, so if I do get that, I will do a proper full-scale review on it, because you know, I think people do like Lush reviews, don't they? I know I'm smelling my wrist because I'm not actually wearing Sikkim Girls today. I'm actually wearing New Harlem by Bond No. 9, which smells like pancakes and coffee and syrup and nice things. Okay, I also have a new Christmas special massage bar from Lush, and this is in the very famous fragrance Snowfairy. And if you are a big Lush fan, you'll know that this is one of their best-selling fragrances. When I say fragrances, I don't actually mean physical fragrances, I mean, you know, fragrance items. It's one of their popular fragrance items for Christmas. They usually do the shower gel, which is a bright pink shower gel with glitter in, and it's called Snowfairy, and it smells a lot like the Godmother soap, which you can buy all year round. So if you really love Snowfairy and you can't wait till Christmas, you can always buy the soap, which is called the Godmother. This year, I don't know if they've done this before, but I've never actually seen them in the shops before. I've never noticed them anyway. I actually noticed that they had a massage bar in the Snowfairy fragrance. If you've never smelt it, and don't live near a Lush store and can't get the chance to smell it, it basically smells of very strong pink bubble gum. This is close, I would say. Show you me smelling it. Yeah, it smells of bubble gum. It's very lovely, you know, simple. And this is the massage bar, and it's kind of melted a little bit. I've used it a few times already, but it actually melted before I even got it out of the shop, so you can't get kind of the full appreciation of it. It's supposed to be shaped like a fairy, and it was when I picked it up, but it don't really look like a fairy anymore. And they did have kind of glitter and white decoration and looked very wonderful in the shop, and now it's just melted. So if you've never used a Lush massage bar before, you can see now already, just from touching it, my hands are very moist. You know, they're basically just heated up by your body heat, and you can just use it as a body lotion in a way. It's a little bit more greasy, I think. And this has actually got sparkles in it. They're not kind of big glitter sparkles, they're more just little shimmers. And I think there's a few kind of bigger, not too big, but a little bit bigger sparkles in there as well. And I won't say that the smell lasts too long, but it does last a lot longer than the shower gel. Because shower gels, obviously, you can only really smell them for about an hour after you've got out of the shower, even Lush ones, which are very fragranced anyway. But this one, you can smell it for a good few hours. Compared to other massage bars by Lush, I have the Mange 2 bar. So I say Mange 2? Mange 2? Which is now discontinued in the UK, but I believe you can get it in the rest of Europe fine. That one's actually very fragrance, and that one lasts most of the day like perfume would. But this one doesn't last that long, but it still does smell very nice. So that's a good alternative if you like the Snowfairy shower gel, or you like the Godmother soap, but you'd want the scent to last a little bit longer and have some moisturising qualities. I think that the massage bar is really good as well, and they're really fun to use. You know, it's kind of a nice routine to get into, to use a massage bar by Lush, and of course a great gift as well. So I think that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching. I'm trying to think if I'm planning on getting any other Lush products you know, in the upcoming months. I would love the Hellstone fragrance, because, like I said, it would mix very well with Sikkim Girls. I think it would smell really good. I liked Devil's Nightcap. It was quite nice, but it did remind me a lot of Flowers Barrow. The voice of reason I could take on this. Lord of Goathorn. I don't know how you say it. Lord of Goathorn. Lord of Goathorn. I don't know. And that one, I don't know about that one. A lot of people in reviews have said it smells of fish, and when you smell it in the actual bottle, that is, I tried it on skin, and I was liking it, menthol qualities to it, and yeah, I don't think I would buy it, but I think
I'm definitely interested in trying it out a few more times. There's one called Sun, or The Sun, and that smelled kind of like candied oranges, like freshly peeled orange and then sugar poured on it. It kind of smelled like that. And also they have one called The Bug, which is about kind of paranoia, like 1984 kind of police state, social paranoia, working class paranoia. That's kind of the concept of The Bug, and the packaging is very nice. It's kind of all machinery, and the fragrance, it smells so weird to me. It smells like kind of an overheating circuit board would smell. It smells very mechanical, like a computer, and I think that's amazing for a fragrance to actually smell like that. It's sweet as well. It's sweet with a, you know, a lot of the Lush fragrances have a kind of menthol quality, and that's kind of got a slightly menthol quality as well. But mainly it's just this very weird overheating circuit board, computer, old-fashioned computer kind of thing, like
you know, you used to have the big boxes, and you know, the computer used to be like this wide and like that thick. You know, it reminds me of those kind of computers and what they would smell like if they were overheating, which is, it's weird, but it's quite appealing. So yeah, those are the Lush perfumes that I'm looking to either try out more, get a sample of, or to buy the full size fragrance if I've got money, which I don't often, especially not okay. So rambled on for too long in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
For some more reviews, I'm going to review some perfumes I've got hanging about. Why not? And so yeah, bye.